everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you are new, if you're not new, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marina, and today I am in the mood to just read romance. It is the month of love, and I feel like I haven't read like a straight up romance in a while because I haven't. Like, if you guys saw my January wrap up, I was just reading a whole lot of like lit fic and sci-fi fantasy books, which is fine. But in February, I kind of just want to switch up the vibe a bit because like I said, it is Valentine's Day coming up soon, and I just want to get into some romances. And I definitely have some on my physical TBR that I definitely should get to sometime soon. I'm going to be reading a couple of romances throughout the week. I have an idea of what I want to read, but I don't, because again, I have romances to choose from already on my shelf. But I'm currently reading one that is being promoted by my job right now. We're having an event with the author, so I'm reading The X Dilemma by L. Wright. Yeah, so I'm trying to get this book done first before Tuesday, because that's when the event is. I know, very late planning. Today is Saturday, but it's actually not that long of a romance. I'm already 13% in, and I started it last night, so I'm not that worried about it. I just have to lock in. And I will say, due to it being not only the month of love but also Black History Month, okay, rooting for everyone Black within reason, I am going to try to read like strictly Black romances or ones written by Black authors. Like I said, I have an idea of what I want to read. I have a few Kennedy Ryan books to choose from. I have a few Jasmine Guillory books to choose from, and you guys know she's an author that I really wanted to read this year, especially since I own like 2 or 3 of her books. I should definitely pick one of her books to read during this vlog. I'm trying to figure out what I really want to prioritize, because like I said, I'm only gonna be reading like throughout the week, and then I'm probably gonna switch back to like the fantasy series that I'm in the middle of. I am actually in the mood to read romance though, so I feel like no matter what I choose, I'm hopefully going to enjoy. Like I said, I'm in the middle of The X Dilemma, and I've never read anything by L. Wright. I don't know if this is her debut novel, but I've never read anything from her backlist. So I will say right now I'm enjoying it. From what I've gathered in the first 13%, because I did not read a synopsis, this is following Wesley and I want to say Albany. And Wesley and Albany were like high school sweethearts back in the day. And then Wesley, I'm assuming, ended up breaking up with her. Flash forward like 10 years later. It has to be more than 10 years. I don't know. But Wesley is like one of the heads of his family company. It's him and his cousins and his siblings that are kind of like in charge underneath like their grandma, who is actually like the actual boss of the place. I don't know what this corporation is. I don't know. But the grandma is locking in when it comes to her like grandkids and their antics. She's like, all of y'all are out here, specifically Wesley, doing ridiculous things, like making our company look terrible. So here's what's gonna go down. You're going to get married within the span of like the next year, someone of my choosing, and you are going to do this, or else you're not going to have the position in the company that you all have been vying for years. And Wesley, the real problem here, Wesley, he's like so confused because he doesn't really understand why his grandma's pushing this all that much. He doesn't get it until in walks Albany. Albany walks into the office, and that's kind of where I left off. She is walking into the office to talk to the grandma about being a PI, so the grandma can figure out who is exactly spreading these rumors about her grandkids, because it's all through social media, so there's really no real identity or no real person behind the identity of like these gossiping pages. And so she's leaving Albany to handle it, and we're just gonna go downhill from there. Like I said, don't really know much about this author and her writing. I will say a critique right off the bat. I've noticed that the chapters are like multi POV. It's like dual POV throughout the book, I'm assuming, but like mid-chapter she'll switch between point of views between the 2 main characters, and I really don't like that. It's one of my biggest gripes in like dual POV romance books. I'm not the biggest fan. I'd rather one chapter be in someone's point of view and then the next chapter be in the other person's point of view, but we'll just have to see. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the first in L. Wright's Bachelor series. Like, this is the first book. There are no other books in the series out yet, and I'm assuming the rest of the books are going to follow Wesley's siblings and cousins and whatnot. And I will say His family dynamic, very messy. Like, from the rundown I've got from Wesley and like his parents and his dad's mess and his uncle's drama and like how all of the cousins interact with each other, I can tell that this family is going to be so fun to follow, because you guys know me, I love a messy like subplot of romance, okay? Like, whether that be like family relationships or like outside relationships, like friendships and stuff. I love how that can affect like an actual romantic relationship. It's always really fun to read. So like I said, it's not long. I'm already 13% into it. So I was thinking for the rest of the day I could just lock in and read this. That's how today's gonna pan out. I am ordering food that's on the way because I'm hungry. I woke up cramping, so I'm like, you know what, no, I don't want to leave my bed today. I'm just going to read, and that sounds like a great plan. So yeah, welcome to the vlog. I hope you guys enjoy it, and yeah, come read with me. I'll talk to you later. It's hours later, to the point where the sun is going down. I have not updated you guys all day, and excuse my hair, I was not kidding. I have not left my bed all day because my body just doesn't want me to do that. So I'm not doing that. But because of that, I've been like in and out of sleep all day and just doing nothing but reading. Where's my Kindle? I haven't gotten that far into the book. I'm only 30% into it. But I will say that you guys know I enjoy me a second chance romance. I dabble in the second chance romance trope quite a bit, especially lately. I feel like a lot of the romances I've been reading lately have been second chance, not on purpose, just because like those are the ones that come on my radar. And I guess this one is as well. Complete coincidence. But with that being said, I feel like with second chance romances, there's definitely a way to make me love them and a way to make me hate them, and it depends on how bad the first breakup was between the characters. Like, why did you guys break up in the first place? What was the reason, you know? And I'm a little bit scared reading this book, because you start off this book seeing the way that the breakup happened, and already I'm like, oh, and not in a good way. I'm like struggling to root for specifically the male love interest because of the way that he went about breaking up with the FMC. I feel like I need to read more in order to like make an actual decision, because it's just, it seems a little bit complicated. But from just vibes and vibes alone from the first 30%, I don't like the way that he broke up with her. I know that they were teenagers and that like miscommunication and all of that, but evil way to break up with someone, terrible. And he's never given an explanation all of these years, and so now that she's back in his life, he's trying to act like everything's normal and talk to her, and she's not having it, which great, but I'm like, this MMC is kind of frustrating me. He's reminding me of why I hate men. And maybe again, I am going through that time of the month, so maybe I'm just like overly emotional about it. But it's like, I don't know, if a man broke up with me like the way that he broke up with her, and he tried to waltz back into my life while I'm just trying to do my job and try to be all giddy and flirty with me again after all these years, I feel like I would punch him in the face. She's better than me though. She's very professional because she is on the clock, mind you, so she can't do that. But I'm like, ooh, men, mind you, her job is to help him and his reputation of sleeping around and being a ladies' man. No, see, like, I need to give this book more of a chance, because again, I am only 30% into it, but I am gonna get rage baited so quickly with this, I fear, if it doesn't go in the right direction that I hope it goes in. I think this is an indie Detroit native author, which I forgot until I read the book. And Detroit is mentioned a lot in the book because it takes place in Detroit, and I was shocked. It's very rare. I don't think I've ever actually read a romance that takes place in Detroit, so that already threw me off. If you guys don't know, hi, Michigander here. I don't live in Detroit. Like, I'm not gonna act like I'm like a Detroit native, but I'm basically like near it. So the fact that like they're mentioning like different locations in Detroit and like the Detroit atmosphere, it feels so much like home that it kind of makes me happy, which is one of the reasons why I'm going to continue reading. That's really cool. And yeah, I guess my only gripe with the book that I can think of is there are some like grammatical errors and some spelling errors in here that I was like, am I unable to read or is this just typed wrong? I had to read a couple sentences like multiple times, and even then I'm like, that's definitely typed wrong. That's not on me. It's not like too bothersome that it's making me not want to read the book, but it is something that I'm noticing. I'm gonna try to read for the rest of the night because I've been taking naps all day. May or may not be up all night, so that's on me, especially because I have work tomorrow morning, so that's definitely not gonna go well, but we'll just have to see. That being said, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. It is the next day, and a little reading update before I head out for work in an hour. I've gotten 50% into the X dilemma, and I don't know how to feel about it. I'm trying to give it like an open mind because I've never read anything by this author, so usually when it comes to new authors, I just try to get the hang of like their writing style, specifically for like romance, because many romance books are not my cup of tea, depending on how the writers write like inner monologues, because obviously we're in the person's POV, how they want to write dialogue between characters, because sometimes it just doesn't feel realistic, and like many different factors play into reading from a new author in general. But for romance, there's like a lot of qualifications that needs to be met for me specifically. Overall, I'm enjoying the story. I just feel like we're moving really fast, and I guess that makes sense. I think this book, from what I saw, was only a little over 300 pages, which is like, I guess, standard for a romance book. But in terms of like the actual romance stuff, I feel like you guys are far. Here, let me pull you closer. I just feel like, again, this goes back to what I said yesterday, if I were in the main character's position and I just came back to town to do a job that my ex-boyfriend's grandma, who I love, asked me to do, which was help find the person who has been spreading rumors about my ex, I would not want to be bothered with said ex. I wouldn't, especially because of what he did to her. And I can't, because I don't want to give spoilers, but like, you find out how they break up in the beginning of the book, and so for the rest of the book I'm just angry at him because he's trying to act like nothing happened. He's like apologized up until this point. Like, again, I'm 50% into the book. It's been somewhat addressed, and he has apologized, and he just wants to get back to normal with her. But when it comes to like the female lead, I expected her to be a little bit more resilient, a bit more stubborn. Hell, even if she does get feelings for him, I would expect her to like at least hold out a bit longer. She's already talking about probably wanting to sleep with him. Like, I'm sorry, did I miss something? I feel like I skipped like 3 chapters. I'm only on chapter 11. There was like a big jump, and he didn't even need to work for it. That's the thing. She's only been back in town for like, I want to say no more than like 2 weeks. I don't know, maybe I'm just stubborn, but I like my female main characters be a bit bitchy. I'm not really liking how fast the story is moving, because I like to see a man grovel in romance when the MMC has done something wrong. No groveling in sight. Mind you, they are adults. I think that they're in like their early 30s, but even because they're adults, I expect them to be like a little bit more mature and open about the situation, and they're not. So yeah, the story itself is frustrating, but I think I might be able to finish it today. Like I said, I do have work, so it depends on how much work I gotta do on my job, because I will probably be reading at my desk. Let's just be so real right now. And also, again, to tie in with another thing I said last night, it's still so weird to me how this book is set in Detroit, because like they're mentioning so many things that I'm like, oh my god, like again, Detroit is not like usually the center of the romances that I read, so it's just a little bit funny to me that the author is mentioning like that the MMC lives in like the Novi area to stay away from his family who lives in downtown Detroit. Like, it's far, but it's not far because it's the suburbs of Detroit. And I was like, oh my god. Then they mentioned like going on the Detroit River and stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like, it's a little cool. I think that's what's selling me the most about this book. Like, every time they mention something like a Detroit native would know, it's cool to me to see a little bit of a representation in there, which again makes sense because the author is from Detroit, I think, so even better. Yeah, that's my only reading update. I could not sleep at all last night, which is how I managed to get 50% in. The only reason why I didn't finish this book last night, because I'm sure I could have from how long I was up last night, was because my Kindle needed to charge, and my charger is nowhere near my bed. I don't really feel like reading it before I go out to work. I just want a very chill morning. I might watch some television, but this won't be getting read again until later. Hi everyone. It is the next day. I'm sorry, I know I said I was gonna update you guys yesterday, but if I'm being honest, I did not read any of this book yesterday. But I'm now 80% into this book. I read a lot of it today, and if I'm being so real with you guys right now, the only reason why I have not DNF'd this book yet is because I need to read it for work. Not need to, but I would like to since we're having an event with the author. I don't want to finish this book, if I'm being honest, but because I'm 80% into it, I have like maybe like an hour's worth of reading left. I can do one more hour of this, but the story is just not hitting for me. I don't know if I'm just like being too judgy, but like I don't think that is the case because I told you guys this at the beginning of the year, like a month ago. I want to be more critical with the books that I read, and I just don't think this book is that good. I feel like I'm not enjoying the romance of it, which is a shame because it is a romance book, but I like the side characters. I like the family, like the familial issues that are going on in this book. So tea. I'm very invested in like the family drama and how like everyone is kind of intertwined with each other's drama. Like I think I gave you guys a synopsis of the series, but essentially like all of these characters kind of grow up rich. You know what they're giving me? They're kind of giving me and I know I bring up these characters all the time and I'm so sorry, but they're giving me the Calloway sisters. Like, you know, those books, the Addicted series, Calloway Sister series. This family is giving that kind of drama. And so I'm really invested in like the family tea because it seems like everyone's beefing. Like the only thing tying these two characters' families together are the grandparents who are best friends. The FMC's grandma is best friends with the MMC's grandma. So because of that, like everyone has known each other all their lives and they know all of each other's business and mess. And they're all low key, like kind of going through relationship drama. And it's just really entertaining to see from like the sidelines because obviously we're not reading everyone's perspectives. We're only getting the main two characters and they're like the least interesting part of the book for me. I'm not invested in their romance. I was invested in the FMC's dilemma with her ex, no pun intended, but now they're kind of just annoying me because it's like we've been arguing, going back and forth about the same thing for the entirety of the book. I think this book is like 300-ish pages. Imagine like a good 200 pages of them just like having the same argument like 5 times and then like sleeping with each other in between. That's the gist of this book and I'm not having that good of a time. And here's the thing, right? I told you that I am a believer of second chance romances needing to like have a not so bad breakup in order to make the second chance work, you know? Like someone can't do something as heinous as like, for example, cheat or I don't know, like, you know what I mean? I genuinely feel like the way that the male main character is moving in this, I don't like it. Like he's groveling and apologizing and like going at her pace when it comes to how the FMC wants him to treat her throughout the book. But I don't know, I just feel like I said this, I think, but at the beginning of the book, we see like flashbacks of them like right before they broke up and the way that he broke up with her. If you do something like that to someone and you want to get back with them like 15 years later, I'm sorry, like you're gonna have to do a lot of groveling, a lot of apologizing, and you gotta like work for it. And I feel like he's working for it, but it's just not convincing to me. I don't know. Like if we're gonna do this, then we have to do it the right way. And I also need to say this, I think that the FMC is kind of annoying. You wanna sleep with him, okay, cool, but you don't wanna be in a relationship with him. You only wanted to do like the F buddies thing, cool. Next page, he's like talking to someone that his grandma tried to set him up with, and now you're calling her like a bitch. It's like, I can't stand it. I can't. It's just, they're both annoying me. And it's gotten to the point where I'm just like, please, for the love of God, just get together so that it can be over. Just get together because I'm sick of it. Like I said, I love the side characters. I think I'm only continuing this book because the other characters interest me. These main two, absolutely not, absolutely not. Yeah, I wish I had more to say. Like I said, I'm probably gonna get this done before the end of the day and then we can pick up a book that I actually know will not disappoint me. I know it won't. So I'm going to knock out this bad boy on my Kindle. And yeah, I feel like I already have a rating for this book ready to go, but let's just see if the next 20% of the book surprises me, wows me. I don't know, guys. Right now, it's not giving that. But I'll talk to you guys when I'm officially done with the X dilemma. Let's do this. I have officially finished The X Dilemma by L. Wright, and my feelings have not changed. So I think I can say I will rate this book like verging from like 2 stars to 2.5 stars. I will say, like, as weirded out as I was by all the mentionings of like Detroit stuff, it was kind of what sold the book for me, because it made me feel like so nostalgic, even though, like I said, I literally live in the Detroit metropolitan area. I'm literally from here, but I think every mention of it just like warmed my heart a bit, because, you know, love to Detroit just makes my heart swoon. So yeah, that's what the 0.5 is for. But I think overall, like, the book would be getting like around 2 stars. Like I said, I would be more interested in reading more down the line if the next books are about the side characters, because I did end up liking them more. They are what also sold the story for me a little bit, but not completely, if I'm being honest. I just think that, you know, the story itself was whatever. The love story, it didn't feel all that loving. It was more so like lustful. Like, I felt the love, but I didn't. And when I did, it was annoying me, because I'm like, just get together. That was The X Dilemma, the first book in the Bachelor Life series. I would love to know other people's opinions about it, because I went into that book blind with no real idea of what I was getting into, and I haven't heard anyone else talk about it. So if you've read The X Dilemma, let me know your thoughts, because I'm very curious. Now, I had to come back to my room because I had to get the next book we are reading, which is, as you could probably guess, Kennedy Ryan's Real. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Guys, you could probably guess, because of how excited I was earlier to start this, that it would be a Kennedy Ryan book, because I am predictable. What can I say? What can I say? I've been in a Kennedy Ryan drought since finishing Can't Get Enough, like all the way back in what, September or August or whatever. It's been months since I read a Kennedy Ryan book. And I think as a little palate cleanser for what I previously read and my experience with that, I think I do need Kennedy Ryan to cheer me up. This is her first book in the Hollywood Renaissance series. I think that's what it's called. And I know that the second book is coming out later this year, I think in May. So, it's time to get started, am I right? I don't know anything about this other than it takes place in like a Broadway setting. I think the main character wants to be an actress, and she falls in love with like either someone behind the scenes or like maybe a co-star. I can't remember. As you can see, going into this with very high expectations. I am going to start this tonight. This is also longer than the X Dilemma. I think this is around like 500 pages. No, 460 pages. And yeah, that's not a surprise to me, because Kennedy Ryan books tend to be on the lengthy side. So I'm very excited to see why it's this long. If that means a slow burn, I'm so here for it. I'm very excited. I'm going into this kind of blind, so I don't know what to expect from this, but I'm really hoping that I love it. And yeah, I'm also going to be annotating this a little bit, not like going in depth with it or anything, but I do want to annotate at least one Kennedy Ryan book that I read this year, and I think this is a good place to start. I'm very excited. Let's get started. Good morning, everyone. It is the next day, and I'm gonna give you a little update before I go into work, because I do need to leave soon. But I am now on chapter 15 of Real, and yeah, this is what I needed. This right here, guys. Now that I am actually like making a dent in this book, I'm like this far into it, so not far, but far enough where I feel like I can tell you an actual synopsis of what this is about. Because, you know, I hear a lot about the Hoop series. Hell, I've been talking my mouth off about the Skyland series for years and how good that is. But why is no one talking about Real? No, why is no one talking about Real by Kennedy Ryan? So I'm gonna start doing that. Prepare to be sick of me. In this book, we follow the two main characters, Kanan and Neva. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I'm pretty sure it's Neva though, based off of how it's spelled. Neva is an up-and-coming actress. She just really wants to do anything involving acting. That's her passion, that's her dream. And right now at the beginning of the book, she is working as an understudy for a Broadway play, a very notable Broadway play, and she finally has the chance to be on stage when the actress who plays the lead role calls off. And while she's performing her heart out at this role, Kanan sees her. And Kanan, let's talk about Kanan real quick. Kanan is a Hollywood movie filmmaker. He's like the guy. Everyone kind of knows of him because of his like specifically documentaries that he makes. He's known for like telling the stories that usually go untold in society, specifically having to do with Black stories. And right now he is making a very high budget Hollywood film and tells the story about a fictional pioneer in Hollywood named Desi Blue. His film is going to be about her and her life, but he needs to figure out who can play Desi Blue. And when he sees Neva on that stage, he immediately does everything in his power to make sure that she can get the lead role as Desi. Mind you, she has no experience other than this like one performance on stage, and he's like, yeah, no, that's a star. I'm gonna make her a star. Don't even worry about it. And now we're kind of following their process as they prepare to make this film. And in order to make it, like I said, they have to like learn more about Desi Blue and who she is. Kanan knows about her, obviously, because he's the one who brought the idea up to the execs and everything. But he's currently on the chapter I'm on, bringing Neva with him to Desi's old family house to get a sense of what she was like, because she has since passed away. So they're kind of going based off of like what her family knows about her and her career and the little like memorabilia they have of her. And it's just so good. It's so good because we have like two stories right now that I'm following. Sorry, this is a we thing though. Desi Blue was like a really talented dancer and singer in like the 30s and 40s, and her whole entire career, as great as it was never documented, which is why Kanan wants to make this film. But on top of that, the stuff that was documented did not even like showcase like even like a speck of what was going on behind the scenes. So these two are uncovering Desi Blue's life, and let me tell you, I think it's about to get really gay in here. I think it's about to get really gay up in here because I'm just getting an inkling that Desi Blue had a relationship with her bestie, and so we're up. I love Black love. Oh my God. Here's the thing, right? I know, like I said, it's fictional. Desi Blue is fictional. These are all fictional characters. But whenever stories like this are told that are like trying to highlight Black people that were pioneers in their own little like subsectors of their passions and don't actually get to be in the limelight for what they did in the industry that they worked in, it just makes my heart like leap, especially because at the beginning of the book, Kennedy Ryan puts like a dedicated mention to all of the stars in Broadway and Hollywood that have pioneered that industry. And obviously like there's too many names to count, so not all of the names you could think of are on this page, but like for example, she mentions Ella Fitzgerald, August Wilson, Nella Larson, Gladys Bentley, Nina Simone, and like so many. And so like you could tell that, like from what I can gather as someone who's only again read the Skyline series, I feel like this book is very, very close to Kennedy Ryan's heart. And it's just because of how it's written. Like usually with Kennedy Ryan books, I do feel like every word matters. Every sentence she has crafted, it not only moves the book and story along, but it feels like she's putting her heart into everything that goes into writing these love stories. But with this one, it also just feels like this is a love letter to just Black people and in film specifically, and Broadway, and like every artist out there, every Black artist, this is her love letter to them. Guys, I could ramble about this for hours, but again, I do need to go to work. I just want to let you guys know that I did make a dent in it. I mostly read all of what I'm telling you about this morning. I did not get far last night. I didn't. I got maybe like past the 2 prologue chapters, and then I went to bed because I was a little tired, just a little bit. But I'm now 15 chapters in. I read that much this morning. So this book kind of flies by very fast. Like the chapters are easy to get through, and also I'm just very invested in both of the stories that are being told right now. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get in as much reading as I can while I'm at work, but who knows really. I'm not gonna bring my physical copy to work because, not gonna lie. Carrying around a paperback in a tote bag, dangerous work, because you could have your book looking like pristine and great when you put it in the bag, and then when you take it out, it's like crippled, the cover is folded in. I'm like going through distress. If you are a tote bag carrier, or like if you carry around books in your day-to-day life when you go out to places, what kind of system do you have to make sure the book does not get damaged? Right now I ordered a book sleeve. It's on its way. I ordered it from Etsy, and I'm gonna see how that handles this problem that I'm having. But yeah, I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk it with this book, especially when I'm only like 85 chapters in. I think I haven't even started like cracking the spine yet. So like if damage is gonna happen to this book, I want to be by my own hand and not by my bags, is what I'm saying. So I looked, and this book is on Kindle, so I'm gonna take my Kindle with me to read, and any annotations that I make today I'm gonna make on my Kindle, and then when I get home I'm just gonna transfer it over to the physical copy. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this book so far, guys. I knew I would, but oh my god. Jumping into a new series by Kennedy Ryan after only following her books through like the Skyland series and reading little to nothing from her backlist, this is such a treat to me. I'm having such a good time. Guys, I am now 40% into Real right now. Hold on, let me check my Kindle. I'm on chapter 31. I'm trying to find my place in the physical book because I've been reading on my Kindle all day. So this is where I'm at right now, and the progress that has been made between the main two characters. I'm giggling and kicking my feet, which is all I wanted to do during this vlog, was giggle and kick my feet and blush. I love. I do. I'm currently going through this phase. I don't know if it's because it's about to be Valentine's Day, or if it's like just because of my vibe right now. I read a lot of like back-to-back fantasies and sci-fis last month, so maybe that's why I'm just like yearning and love and pining. But regardless, that's what Real is giving to me right now. The way that feelings have already basically been established, and usually I'm like not for that, because again, because of how big it is, I thought it was going to be more slow burn when it comes to like feelings and relationships. But the way that Kennedy Ryan writes these two, it just makes sense. It makes sense. Not gonna lie, the beginning of the book up until this point has just been mostly like lustful attraction. If I'm being honest, like I personally am not a big fan of like lust first and then like building off of the lust into feelings. That's not really something I'm into. But again, it's just the way Kennedy Ryan writes. Like them slowly, gradually, over the course of making this movie, getting to know each other and seeing them somewhat become friends, and then like confessing it. I'm losing my mind. Also, it's not too rushed. Nothing in this book feels rushed. Everything feels like it's been thoroughly drawn out enough. Like nothing feels like it's lingering too long. Nothing feels like it's being rushed through. Everything is happening at the moment it's supposed to happen, which makes me so happy. Again, I went into this knowing that I was going to love it because Kennedy Ryan's writing style is right up my alley when it comes to romance. You guys know me. I'm not really into like straight up fluff romance. Like I can read it and enjoy myself, but when it comes to like actual romance books that I think of highly, they usually have a little bit more substance. They're not just like surface level romance. They have to have like actual real characters, like characters that feel like real people with real problems, and then like on top of that they have a romance going on. But the romance doesn't always have to be at the forefront of the romance book. Does that make sense? I like doing like character studies when it comes to romance, because I feel like that's what a romantic relationship is in the grand scheme of things. Coming together with another person and forming a romantic connection requires for two people to have a character study and actually delve deep in what they have in common, what they don't have in common, and how they can bring that together in a loving relationship. And I love reading about that. It's everything to me. So the way that Kennedy Ryan writes her characters, it feels perfect. It feels right up my alley. And again, I think I told you guys this before, but I'm really enjoying like the subplot part of the plot of the book where they're basically like Kanan and Neva, they're coming together to create this movie centered around a fictional Black pioneer in like the Harlem Renaissance era Desi Blue. This is like their little like film that they're putting together. I say little, it's like a literally Hollywood top of the notch film that they're making. And every time they talk about the movie, or like we get scenes from the movie, it's always told in like scripts. So like, let me show you, for example, I don't think this is gonna spoil anything, but I just want you to see the format. Whenever we get parts from like the actual film that they're making, it's told in the format of a script. And I think that that's so cool, because when I was in college, I did study like script writing and stuff like that. So like when I saw this for the first time on the page, I was like, oh my god. And reading it on my Kindle just takes that away, because on Kindle it kind of just looks like the regular font. Like you could tell that it's formatted differently, but it just doesn't look the same. I don't know if you guys can see that. On the topic of this plot of the film that they're making, it really does give me The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. You guys may or may not know, because I haven't talked about that book in years, simply because Taylor Jenkins Reid isn't really an author that I read anymore, because I don't really vibe with her as a person. But that book sent me on like an astral plane of just like sadness, and I've been wanting to read a book like that again. And this is, I feel like, the closest I've ever gotten to something like that, because of the subplot. It's not even like the main part of the book, but the subplot between like Desi Blue and Tilda and their relationship in this. I kind of wish this was a real movie. Why isn't this a real movie? Kanan, I need you to be real so that you can actually make this movie and have Neva star in it, so I can see these two's relationship on screen. I don't know, I just feel like, yes, I'm loving Kanan and Neva's relationship, but I kind of wish we had more Desi Blue in here. Like whenever there's a Desi Blue centered chapter in her point of view, I'm like, yay, yay. What that's telling me about myself is that I might need to start a sapphic romance tonight. Yeah. I know, I just started Real, so I really shouldn't be starting another romance in the middle of this romance. But you know what? I can do whatever I want. So while I was at work today, I downloaded on Kindle Unlimited Outdrawn by the author that you guys know that I love, Deanna Gray. Deanna Gray, I already know her. I already trust her because of her Mendel Hawks hockey romance series. I really do adore those books. They're so wholesome and comforting to me. But I know that she also has dabbled in some like sapphic romance with this one book that she has written, and I've heard really good things about it. So I saw it was on Kindle Unlimited. I downloaded it, and I think I'm gonna start that tonight. It goes with the black romance theme of this video. It does. Both of the girls in it are black. So I think I might start that and update you guys about that later tonight or tomorrow. I don't know. But having such a good time right now. I don't know if you could tell. I got home from work and I was just giddy to continue reading Real. But then as soon as I got to that chapter, I was like, no. Maybe I need to start Outdrawn. So I don't really know what the vibes are for the rest of the night in terms of my reading, but just know Outdrawn and Real will be getting read. They will be getting read tonight, one way or another. I can already see this being a 5-star read for me. I don't know how it wouldn't be. Like, I'm trying to figure out how Kennedy Ryan might fumble the bag, as in like have it be at the very least 4 stars. I don't see this being below 4 stars, but I wonder how it could not be a 5-star, because right now at the 40% mark, as of me speaking, it's basically perfect. This is perfect for me. I love a good romance. I do. Hi guys, it is the next day, and I just want to give you guys a little update on how far I've gotten in Outdrawn. Spoiler alert, I haven't, but I'm at the 10% mark, so I do want to like give you guys a rundown of what this book is about, because I realized in my excitement of starting it last night, I did not really explain to you what it was about, because I didn't know. I kind of just went into this book blind and just trusted Deanna Gray, and I'm glad I did, because I feel like I'm gonna enjoy this book a lot. But basically, we're following Sage and Noah. Noah just got hired to work as the head artist, or a co-head artist, of one of the biggest comic companies or publications, and she's been like drawing and creating stories for years, and she's been waiting to get picked up by some big company, and she finally has, and she's very excited to start the job, but she knows that she will have to work with someone that she is way too familiar with, incoming the love interest, Sage. Sage has been working at the same comic company since they graduated from college. So I'm pretty sure it was said that it's been like 7 years since their university days, so they're very much like fully fledged adults. They haven't seen each other since then, and it looks like there's a little bit of history there. They are working as co-head artists for a comic that the company really wants to revitalize. It was a really big comic back in the day when they first started their business, but now like a lot of readers aren't really tuned into it. So now it is Sage and Noah's job to make sure that like the illustrations, the story, everything is perfect to get pumped out within like a month or two. Like I said, there is a lot of like somewhat animosity between the two of them because of whatever went down back in their college days. They do not like each other, and since they have not seen each other since, they kind of have to try to work as partners. And while they're working as co-heads, they are also fighting to get their own stories published. So it's kind of seen as like a rivalry between the two of them of whoever can do the best job at getting this story that their company wants out could possibly have the chance of giving them the opportunity of publishing their own stories. So yeah, that's what this book is about. That's what I've gathered from literally the first 2 chapters. I haven't gotten far into it, but I like it. I can already tell I'm gonna have a good time with the banter. I can already tell. It's just like one of those feelings I have when I start a romance book that like the banter is gonna eat. It's gonna eat really bad because I'm already chuckling. That's one thing about Deanna Gray's books that I love. It doesn't take much to get into like the comedy aspect of the rom-com type of book that she makes, which is something I really appreciate, especially because like I said, I'm reading Real by Kennedy Ryan on top of this, and as much as I love Kennedy Ryan's books, they're more so for like the emotional impact of like the characters and such, and not really like a happy-go-lucky funny romance. Like there could be funny moments in there, but that's not like the center of the story. So I think I really did need this to balance out like the seriousness of Real, even though I'm having a great time with both. I'm gonna try to finish at least one of these books before the vlog is over, because I think I'm gonna end this vlog tomorrow. I've been like recording for days. Yeah, I have no updates for Real because it's, like I said, I started this book last night and then I did not get that far into it before I fell asleep. So yeah, I didn't end up picking up Real at all. I'm gonna continue reading and I'll let you guys know how I feel about it. Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to the last day of this vlog. I feel like my hair is very... Just ignore it, just ignore it. I'm looking at myself in the viewfinder and I look crazy, but I just took down my braids after like 2 days. So please don't mind my hair. I haven't even brushed it. I just woke up. But I wanted to say hi because I have some updates to share. I am now a little over 50% into Outdrawn. Guys, I'm eating this up. It took everything in me to put the book down last night. I was staying up until like, I think 1 a.m. and then that's when I was like, okay, wait. I'm not gonna be able to go to work tomorrow. So I ended up calling off. Don't recommend this. I don't recommend this. I was just really tired because I stayed up reading this book and I did not want to face the consequences of my actions. So I called off. Anyway, besides that, this book is so cute, guys. I've missed the feeling I get from reading sapphic books. I haven't read a sapphic book in a long time and this just made me realize it. And now I'm kind of in the mood to just read that. I don't really know what my next read will be after this. Not that it matters because again the vlog is ending today because I have been recording officially for 7 days straight. But yeah, this has put me in a really like not just romantic mood but like a sapphic mood. I want to read more sapphic romances. Yeah, I'm at the 51% mark of the book and there's like so much tension. They're at a carnival and it's so cute and they're doing like photo booth pics and I'm like giggling, screaming, kicking my feet. Here's the thing, right? I feel like the rivals to lovers trope is such an underrated thing. I think we need to bring that back. Not everything has to be enemies to lovers. Sometimes it's just not that serious. Sometimes the tension between two rivals that are competing for something, oh, That's tea. That's tea. And you guys know I discovered my love for this trope with the one and only ultimate ship that I love and adore with all my heart, Rose and Connor. You guys already know this from the Calloway Sisters series. Love those two. Those two are my introduction to academic rivals to lovers. And ever since then, I've just been like craving like a book with that kind of high. And though I haven't really had like much to compare those two to, there's only like one other book I can think of that's like on that level. I do realize that like I have the most fun, I think, with like the rivals to lovers trope. I just think it's such a fun thing. Like, oh yes, we're definitely competing for the same thing and we want to beat each other, but also while we learn each other's techniques, while we learn each other's methods of how they do what they do, we slowly but surely fall in love with them. I think that that's really cute. So yeah, I'm having the best time right now. It's like 12:30. I think I'm gonna give myself a few more hours of reading time and then I'll update you guys and finish out the vlog. But I also wanted to turn on my camera because I got my book sleeve in the mail and I wanted to show you guys. So I got this off of Etsy. I don't remember whose Etsy shop it's from though. Give me 1 second to check. It's from the shop Made by Kaylin Mary. This person has a lot of cute book sleeves on their shop. So if you guys want to check it out, I'll have it linked down in the description below if you're interested. I was just shopping for one because like I said, it's very hard for me to carry around like paperbacks in my tote bag because I always end up looking raggedy when I take them out, and it's because they're not protected well enough. So I'm just like testing this out, okay? I don't know if this is going to be like the best of methods, but I just want to see. So it's cute. It's kind of, I hate this word, but it's giving very girly pop, I'm afraid, because look, not only because of like the design and the details at the top with the frills, it also has ribbons for a bow. I don't know, I saw a picture of this and I was like, oh, that's really cute. And so I'm gonna test it out. I don't really know if this could fit all of the books. I mostly was just thinking about like the size of a paperback, so I got the one that looks the size of most of my paperbacks. There weren't any measurements to compare it to, so I'm really hoping that this will fit at least like a few of my books that I want to take with me on the go. But yeah, isn't that cute? And if not, then I can easily just put my Kindle in there also, because God knows my Kindle has so many scratches on it because I just don't protect it. Yeah, I just feel like I could probably put my Kindle in there and it's perfect. But I want to see how it looks when it's like tied in a bow. Look at that. Guys, that's really cute. I was so happy. I woke up to the notification of it being like on the front porch and I immediately went down to go get it. And I just wanted to show you guys that. I'm gonna try to get back to reading, and yeah, the next time I see you guys, I will be closing out this vlog. Alright guys, it is finally time to close out this vlog. I've been reading for the past few hours, but I've also been like in and out of sleep. I think you guys have noticed this about me on my days off. While I do want to be productive, I also just want to relax because work has been tiring me out lately. So when I do have the chance to read, I'll read. But if I need to rest, I'm not going to fight my body. I'm just gonna rest, okay? But yeah, I am now like 60% into Outdrawn, and around this point of the book, I realize it's leaning more towards a 4-star, and I think I'm fine with that, but obviously it could go up and down depending on like how the rest of the book plays out. I'm just really enjoying it. As much as like I'm noticing like a few things about it that I'm like about, which is why it's not leaning towards like 5-star material by any means, but it could go up to a 4.5 depending on how much I love the ending. So I haven't really been reading Real the past few days, but I did test out my little book sleeve with Real inside of it, and it fits perfectly because this is the size of most of my paperbacks. So I was like, if this fits like this, snug and everything, then I'm not really worried about my other paperbacks, which is great. That means I can use this in my day-to-day, because you guys don't understand, I've literally been damaging so many paperbacks by like having them just like jumble and around in my totes, because all I ever use are totes. I don't carry around like purses or anything or backpacks. I just have tote bags, and they're, as much as I love a good tote, they're not the best at protecting paperbacks. So I'm very happy that that purchase was not in vain. But with that being said, before we close out the vlog, I do want to actually let you guys know that I am now opening a Pango Books account. And if you guys don't know what Pango Books is, it's like a really, really nice website slash app, I'm pretty sure, that allows for people to sell books for really cheap and purchase them for really cheap. So I am going to show you guys a few of the books that I'm unhauling, because although I did a unhaul a few months ago, I realized like over the past like few weeks that there are still some books on my shelf that I just really don't think I'm ever going to read, and so I need to give them away. It's not much. I have it in a bag next to me, so I'm just gonna fly through these, and if you want them, just go to my Pango Books account, link down below. I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me by Jamison Shee. I think I told you guys in my previous wrap-up video, but I am leaning more towards horror books by reading them audibly. I tried to read this physically and I just couldn't do it. Like, I don't know what it is about me, but for some reason listening to a horror book is more comforting to me than reading it physically. Like, trying to get through the words on the page with my eyes, I just couldn't do it. It was like so hard to get through. It might also just be the descriptions of it, like maybe like this is just too graphic for me, but I genuinely don't think that's the case. I think I just might feel more comfortable reading this book on audio, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Kaylin Bayron. I read one book by this author, Cinderella is Dead, and I was not a big fan of that book. I actually did not like it, but I wanted to give this book a chance around the time that I got it, at least, and I got this like 2 years ago. I still haven't read it, and it's really small, so I'm like, okay, Marina, if you haven't picked this up, then you're not probably gonna pick it up ever. Like, it's been 2 years and I haven't, so yeah, it's a hardcover little novella. You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. I'm debating getting rid of this, but it's for the same reason as I'm getting rid of You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight. I have had those books for like the same amount of time. Maybe I've had this one longer, if I'm being honest, and I just never picked it up. I've heard that it's a really cute like YA fiction book, and I'm pretty sure it's sapphic, so I do have interest in it, but I don't know, like the thought of a book being on my shelves for so long and me never picking it up, I just take that as a sign that I need to let them go. So I don't know, this one is still up for discussion. If you have read this book, let me know, because it's something I'm not interested in it anymore. I just feel like, I don't know, if it's not calling to me, then it's not calling to me. Star Daughter by Shveta Thakrar. I got this book a few years ago, same as the other ones, and I haven't picked it up. I think I got this just because the cover is stunning. Like, I love this cover, I do. But as of right now, I find it really hard to get into like YA fantasy books. I love YA fantasy, but it's just not something I'm in the mood for currently. And so I was going through my shelves looking at all the YA fantasy that I might want to get to and the ones that I don't, and this one sadly just was one of the ones I didn't want to get to. I think that it's signed though. It has like a book plate on the inside with the author's signature. So if that interests anyone, it's yours for the taking. Okay, the next 3 books might be a surprise to you guys because I recently hauled these books. However, I've learned some stuff about the author that has now made me not really want to read anything by him, which is sad because I was really looking forward to these books, but it's fine. I have the Brandon Sanderson Mistborn hardcovers. I don't know if these are special edition covers, but I've never seen these covers before. So I have, this is the first one, this is the second one, Well of Ascension. They're kind of like brand new. I got these secondhand though, so like they might have some like writing on the inside, but the dust jackets, the outside, pretty much like new. I know that the first one kind of has some tears in the dust jacket though, so like I said, I'm not going to be pricing these too high because I honestly just want to get rid of them. They're taking up a lot of space on my shelf, and I just think I don't really need to own them, and I'm not really trying to get much money out of them because since I bought them secondhand, I don't really need the money. I just need the space. Those are all the books that I'm unhauling. In total, that's like 7, I think. Yeah, by the time that this video is up, I will hopefully have these all on my Pango account, which again, you can find in the link below in the description. And if you want any of these, go ahead and purchase them. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this little reading vlog that I did. Hopefully I will have this out by tomorrow because tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So if that's the case, happy Valentine's Day. I hope that you guys liked seeing me read romance for the past week. I'm upset that I only finished one book though, and the one book that I did finish I hated, but I think I'm ending this video on a high note still because I'm reading like 2 back-to-back bangers right now. I think one of them is going to be a 5-star and one of them is going to be a 4-star. So take the good with the bad, I know, but like I wish I finished one of them, but it's okay. It's okay. You guys are going to hear more about them probably later on in the month of my wrap up, so hold out for that. And yeah, I think that's it. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye everyone.